12:18. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mari Mukonda. The interest rate cuts for 2020 and the work from home lifestyle resulting from the pandemic continues to play a role in a property investment for 2021. If you're hunting for a property at an attractive price, you might be wondering when is the best time of the year to buy an investment property or just a property for yourself. And to give us those tips, we have a real estate expert, Winston Kunene. Good day, Winston, and thank you for joining me.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, so first things first, when is the best time to buy property?
Um, that's a great question. I'd actually say right now, the repo rate is still low, even though it just increased last a week ago. But it's still low. It's still the best time to buy a property now because by the time the repo rate goes back to what it used to be a year ago or even before the pandemic, you'll be paying high interest rates on your property. So it's better to buy now so that you can reap the rewards in the near future.
Mm-hmm. And what are the pros and cons of buying property at the end of the year?
Okay, I think okay, starting off with the cons, I'd say, majority of the people are moving out, especially if you're buying an investment property. Majority of the people are either moving out or jobs have been affected, so you have a huge demand of people coming into to occupy your space, and obviously as a desk. So this is some of the mistakes that a lot of property owners do is if the property has been vacant for the past 3 months, so let's say from August to October, and there just hasn't been any activity on the property, and you get towards December and you're so desperate, you've been paying your bond repayment for the past 2 months, so essentially you accept any tenant, and that's a lot of the mistakes that I see a lot of the a lot of the homeowners do. So I think a con to that is not looking out and not doing your credit checks because obviously you're desperate, your demand is high. Um, but I think for a con though, I would say is there will always be people getting promotion, getting bonuses. So you also do kind of have you can sell your property at the time at a good asking price. So yeah, I'd say those are some of the pros and cons in buying towards December.
Mm-hmm. All right. What should you look for when buying property, whether it's for family home or for an investment?
So what what you need to look for is the area. So infrastructure is the most important thing. This is a famous saying that is said over and over and over again, and you should be familiar with it if you know a lot about real estate. Is location, location, location. So essentially, when we say location, we're not referring to a specific suburb. And that's some of the things that a lot of people assume it's a specific area. So it's like only Santon, only Midrand, only those. But it's actually anywhere where there's infrastructure. So in terms of urbanization, the more people, the higher the birth rate, the inflation, the economy, um, developments occur. So you need to look at what's happening, what are the amenities in that area. So if there's new hospitals being built, that's the best place to go and buy a property there as an investment property because you'll have people working at that hospital. So it's a whole cycle of an economy, and it just works in line with real estate. Whether it's schools, moving into a new school, the family would be looking for a place closer to that school, so you would invest in that specific location towards that area. But you obviously have someone, an estate agent that's professional enough to give you the comparable stats of the area. What has the previous sales looked like for the past few years? What has the economy done in this specific area that you're looking into? You don't necessarily have to choose a popular area as long as there's economic activity going on. Um, then essentially it would be a very good investment. You should, however, be careful of certain areas if there's high crime or there's low maintenance or there's just bad, it's just a bad area that in the basis of it, then you wouldn't want to invest in a property there, or the squatters and all of that you would look into, that you would want to mitigate that risk.
Mm-hmm. And when it comes to planning to buy a property, is there a time frame, a time limit when you should actually start planning and start looking for the property? Like you mentioned, the area, if there's infrastructure in the area, when should you start with that process?
Yeah, I think that, so everything about real estate or property is now. So everything is now. The moment you start doing something later, you'll miss out on all the opportunities that it comes along with. It's just a timing factor. You start now, you start planning now. So what you need to do as well is to form important relationships. I think that's the first task if you want to start immediately, because it's overwhelming for a lot of, especially for first time buyers. You know, it's very overwhelming to say that I want to buy a property, but you don't have anyone mentoring you or consulting with you on how to go about that process. So the first step then would be to form those relationships, approach estate agents, go into the EAAB. So this is the regulator, the Estate Agency Affairs Board. Look for any suitable agent in a specific area that you would like to buy a property. Reach out to them. They are on social media. They should be on Property 24 or Private Property, which is our biggest property platforms in this country. Reach out to them, tell them you're interested in buying a property. And then they'll obviously give you the processes of, okay, we first need to pre-qualify you for the banks, just to assess your affordability, your credit score, to before we even start going out and looking for properties. We need to see that you can at least afford. So this is called a pre-qualification. And once that process is done, and then okay, cool, you're well aware, I've got 2 million rand to spend. Then you can start shopping around with that same agent. Make sure that, relationships are very important in this industry. If you have a relationship with one agent, stick to that one agent that you trust, because another mistake that a lot of buyers do is they go into Property 24, they scroll through properties, and then they press the inquire button, and they end up speaking with a different agent. So now you're forming all these different relationships, and you're sort of being sidetracked. So it's very important to just conversate with one estate agent. If you find a property that you like, send them the link, ask them what they think about it. They will obviously reach out to the other agents to make sure that the process is facilitated properly. So yeah, it's very important to establish relationships, because it's a mutual benefit at the end of the day. You approaching an estate agent and having that long-term relationship with them is also a mutual benefit for them, because they will be selling you a house. They will introduce you to the conveyancers. That's another relationship that you would need to form. Bond originators, all of these professions or professionals, they don't charge you anything upfront up until you purchase a property. So it's very, very important to form those relationships.
Mhm. You spoke about credit score earlier. How important is credit score, and how do you get a good credit score in order to qualify for a loan from the bank?
Yeah. So credit a credit score is so important, because so how the banking system works is, if they want to give you an asset, a property, and it's basically collateral, they need to trust that you're able to repay them back the loan, because they obviously loan you against that property that you purchased. So they need to make sure that you pay back that loan. What your history of payments, your history of expenditure, your history of income, those things are very important, because they'll be able to assess, and should you not be able to afford the property down the line, they also are able to um, and unfortunately repossess that property, and they still make money off from that. So if you want to form a relationship with the bank, asking them to buy you, asking them to give you a home loan to buy a property, you then need to impress them. You need to impress the bank. So that's basically what a whole credit score implicates. You need to work on making sure that you don't miss any monthly debit orders, because that does reflect on your credit as a bad payer. If you miss debit orders, you need to make sure that you always pay your rent on time if you're still renting, or if you have another property and you're obviously paying a bond on it, you need to make sure that you don't miss those payments, because you could also be reported a TPN, so it's a credit bureau, where a TransUnion bureau, where it records that you miss payments, you're a bad payer, you get judgments. So you need to avoid those certain things. And also, very important, which a lot of people get it twisted up. So so if you go to a bank and you loan, let's say 50,000 rand, try not to pay all of it back. Try to create a track record of 6 to 12 months, or even 3 months actually, of you paying that home loan. I mean, that loan, a personal loan or a car loan, whatever it is, apart from property home loan. Make sure that you pay for it every monthly basis, because you're creating a whole portfolio of your credit payments, your credit score, and your affordability, and how you manage your finances very well. So the moment the bank assesses that, after a 3 months period, hence you'll notice that an estate agent will always request for a 3 months bank statement before you purchase a property. That's because they need to assess your credit and your financial behavior. So if you can convince the bank that you've managed to pay your bills on time, you've managed to keep your finances afloat, you've managed to maybe keep a few. Banks love savings, cash flow. So if you put savings aside, or in a fixed deposit account, you're basically giving yourself that higher chance of getting a home loan. So that's very important to analyze.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what happens if a few years down the line you lose your job, or something happens and you aren't able to make the payments? But hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break and we'll continue thereafter.
Thanks.
Change the life of a child. Unsafe water is having a devastating global impact on health and livelihoods. Islamic Relief is at the forefront, providing clean and safe water to vulnerable communities around the world. Our tailored approach to sustainable water solutions enable families not just to survive, but to thrive, ensuring they stay healthy and safe. Give water, give life with Islamic Relief.
These days, I'm more health conscious than ever. So tonight, it's stir fry for dinner, cooked in healthy Helios pure sunflower cooking oil. Helios is pure sunflower goodness, packed with omega-6. That's good for your heart, and is approved as part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation eating plan. Dinner's ready! Helios, pure sunflower cooking oil. A healthy family is a happy one.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world, where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman, so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Reliable access to clean water could save thousands of lives each day. With proper sanitation and easy access to fresh, clean water, communities can flourish. Our Thirst Relief Pool provides clean water to communities in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East by building deep wells and providing sustainable water and hygiene solutions. A monthly donation of as little as 700 Rand could build a well for a community in need. That's only 23 Rand a day. Donate today. www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
It's 12:32. You are listening to the Mid-Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mari Mukwanda. And today we are talking property investments, especially if you feel like you're ready to buy a property during this time of the year when the repo rate is low. Take advantage of that. And joining me is real estate expert Winston Kunene to give us tips. Winston, thank you for staying on the line. Now, before the break, I asked, what should you do should something unfortunate happen down the line, yet you purchase the property and you're still owing money to the bank.
Bank. Okay. So it's I think this is such a very important question, and to the viewers listening, we what you need to make sure is get insurance when you when you purchase a property. Make sure that you get insurance covered for that specific property. So there's various insurance products, and make sure that you get a bond originator or an estate agent to just go through that insurance policy, so that because they're very familiar with the language, so they'll be able to explain some of the things that you would be covered for. So for instance, if you had to lose a job in a year's time and you're paying a property, you have the right to, well, your insurance can cover, it depends on insurance policy you get, but you can be covered for a year up until you get another opportunity, or you get other insurance products that allow you to go for payment breaks. So don't pay for the next 6 months or whatever amount period of time until you're able to start getting income again. So those are the things that you can. So you are able to mitigate your risks if you get an insurance policy. If Because you never know, like you said, 10 years down the line, you lose your job, you've been there for a while, you get retrenched, but you've got all these mortgages that you're repaying. So it's very, very crucial that you stick with an insurance product. I always say that if it's an asset, insure it. If it's obviously if it's a liability, well, I guess it's still a liability. But if it's an asset, working towards that asset, always insure it, because that is your retirement, or that is your for your children's inheritance. It's generational wealth, so you should always insure it. So that's the basis of protecting yourself 10 years down the line should you lose your job. And I think this one is not very, very, it's rare, but so you need to also kind of notify the bank that you've unfortunately you've gone out of a job now and you need to sell your house. So you can go through a program. So most of the banks, especially the major banks, they've got programs where they allow you to list the property for sale before they repossess it, right? You put it in a program up for sale. Obviously, there's lower commission attached to it. You get a bit less money, but you always break even from your debt, right? So get away from those problems. And that's something that one of the clients I was dealing with about a few months ago, they refused to put it on the program because they just had so much faith. And there's nothing wrong with faith, having faith that you're going to get an opportunity, things are going to go back on track. But that also does come with the risk. You might hurt your credit record. You might get a judgment and you might be blacklisted. You might not even ever get a job ever again. And so it's really up to you how you mitigate that risk. But it's very important that should you come across such a situation, utilize those resources and those opportunities.
Mm-hmm. All right. And now, what are some of the most popular areas to buy property at the moment?
Sorry, I missed that.
What are some of the most popular areas that people are looking to buy property at the moment?
Centurion. So in Gauteng, Centurion, Pretoria, mainland side of Pretoria. Sandton is still in demand. Sandton, Midrand, a very, very popular one now. Actually, that's raised huge numbers in the last few stats is Rudaport. So the northern side, Rudaport, North Cliff. There's a whole lot of developments happening there, and there's just a lot of first-time buyers or even repeat buyers are buying in that area. We're seeing a lot of numbers. Actually, if it were by me, I would move there and sell all the properties there because it's just moving very quickly. So I think this is crucial information for anyone that's looking to invest in a property. Look in Rudaport. Always high demand for tenants, high demand for developments. And I think while we're on that topic, so we've got property investment courses that we have on our website. So it's a lifetime mentorship. So we also kind of show you during the course of the time. We don't necessarily, when you're ready to buy a property, you'll be able to kind of get the idea of where to look, and we show you stats. We show you monthly stats of where properties are booming. We show you a progress reports after 6 months of where, if you had invested here, this would have been the yield returns. So we show you, it's a lifetime mentorship. You've got an actual property specialist, a team of property specialists guiding you through your property investment for a lifetime. Whereas some people would just go and get like a consultation fee for an hour, and they still, it's quite dangerous because markets change every month. So you can get a buyer's market tomorrow should the repo rate go low again, or things like that. So you need to really assess and look at all those things, but you need a professional specialist, a property specialist, to show you that. And I think it's quite a cool thing that we've done launching this course, because we're seeing the results and whatnot. So not just us, not just promoting ourselves, but even if you're out there and you do know of estate agents or other property specialists that you've had relationships with for a long time, get together with them, build a relationship, wish them happy birthdays, buy them gifts, go out now and then, network with them. You'll be surprised how much information, free information, they give you based on real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, all right. That sounds like a great idea. So I hope our listeners will take advantage of that information. And while you are marketing yourself, how can people get hold of you or your company?
Yeah, so on every social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, we Libertalia Real Estate. So if you just search Libertalia, 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 and then Real Estate, and you should be able to find us. The most important platform to go to, though, is our website. It's got everything there. It's got property listings. It's got courses. It's got the finance. We've partnered up with finance companies. We've partnered up with conveyancing companies. We've partnered up with a lot of the related stakeholders. So if you go onto that website, you'll get a lot of information that's very, very important, that you can obviously reach out to us when you need our service.
All right, Winston, thank you for the information and for taking time to share it with us. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Maya. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Tembisa Winston Kunene taking us through buying property for the first time, for investment for yourself, and when is the best time to buy, and the time is now. If you waste any more time, you might just lose out on the opportunities. And he mentioned Sandton, Linwood, Midland being some of the popular areas in Pretoria, Roodepoort, Northcliffe, Sandton being the popular areas in the Johannesburg side. So if you are interested, you can go to Libertalia Real Estate for more information and for coaches, for courses, etc., on how to buy property for investment and how to buy property for yourself. It is at 12:41. You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. We will be right back.